Hello there.
Hello, everybody. Happy Friday. Welcome to VC. Welcome to Cantina Social Hour. Hope everybody's doing very well. Happy Friday to you guys. Hope everybody's doing well. Thank you for being here with us tonight in the Cantina. I appreciate you guys as always, and I'm very glad that we're able to do this. So thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you. Hope everybody's had a great week. And yeah, what's up, you guys? What's up, you guys? Lots of activity here in the chat. We're trying something different tonight. We are streaming simultaneously on Facebook. I've never done it before, but I guess through this platform, I'm able to do it. So I said, hey, why not? You can do it on Instagram too, I guess, but Instagram, isn't like widescreen. It's like portrait mode, right? So I didn't want to try it because I don't know how it's going to look, right? It might not look great. And, I'm always conscientious of things looking decent, even though we get disconnected, even though I end up in the world between worlds sometimes. It's great to be here. Happy Friday, you guys. I'm really glad to be here. I'm grateful it's Friday, and thank you truly for being here and celebrating our little social hour. Hello, Cantinians. So tonight we don't have a guest. There was a guest lined up. Some things happened. I tried to schedule a different guest, but it didn't work out. And so that's okay. We've done this show by myself before many times. So I apologize in advance for the torture you will sustain throughout the duration of this live stream. But I will be in fact, torturing you a little bit. So hopefully that's okay. Let's see who's in the chat. Let's see who's in here tonight. I'm eager to see who's with us. We got Dodgson in the house. Oh, I love this comment. The social hour makes any ordinary Friday a good Friday. New acquisitions, new rumors or announcements, and of course, the fellow conversations with the Cantinians. Basically, bacon and eggs, perfect combo. Very nice. I like it, Dodgson. Thank you for that. Thank you so much. Tommy, thank goodness you're with us. I was hoping you were going to be here tonight. Yeah, the Arctic Batman figure. Yeah, I know you want me to review it. $40, my friend. That's kind of a lot. At some point I will review it. I can't tell you when. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but one day I will review it. Okay, one day. I can't say when that's going to be because I don't know. I don't have the figure. You're welcome to send it to me if you'd like. If you want to send me one from eBay, then I'll review it. Sure. But until then, $40 is a little steep, so I'm not going to review it quite yet. Okay, so I hope you can understand that. Thank you for your understanding. Adam, happy Friday to you. I'm glad it's time for social hour. Cheers here with my sparkling water that somehow matches my shirt. Yeah, very cool, very cool. Who else is here with us tonight? Lots of conversations. Pico B1, what's going on? I just got the Jedi Survivor 3-pack for $28 on Amazon. Not bad. Not bad. Not bad at all. Trevor, how's it going? Hello, Cantinians. Paul, how are you doing, Paul? How are you doing? We got Big Woo D4717. Mechanized, how are you doing? Buckle up, indeed. Buckle up. Get your engines started. How's it going, Tim? 14 more days until we see the cantina. I mean, the unknown has lab. Yeah, maybe. Hopefully. Who else is here? Mary, how's it going, Mary? Good to see you. Steven, how's it going, Steven? Who else is here? Britt is here. Hey, Britt. How you doing, Britt? Caesar, finally get to watch you live, watching on Facebook. Okay, so somebody is watching on Facebook. That's cool. I'm glad that some people are taking advantage of the Facebook simultaneous stream while we're here on YouTube. But it's kind of cool. You can stream in other places. So that's kind of nice. Ian, how's it going, Ian? Yes, definitely. Drawing pulling out a little bit of my inner Rick Grimes there, I think. Justin, how you doing? Justin? Lemon lime bubbly is the best. Which one do I have? I have cherry bubbly. That's what I'm drinking right now. Cherry bubbly. It's not bad as far as sparkling waters go. Justin, how's it going? Timothy, how are you doing? Watching on Facebook as well. Nice. I'm glad some people are watching on Facebook. That's kind of cool. I'm glad that it was, we'll see. Maybe this experiment will work out and we'll just make it a regular thing. We'll stream on YouTube and Facebook from now on. Awesome. Very cool. Well, good little crowd starting here in the cantina. Thank you guys for being here. Hope you're doing very, 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 very well. And we are going to begin. So like I said, no guests tonight. It's just me. We will have a guest next weekend. And then basically my schedule is lined up for like the following, like all of May, basically, or most of May. The bases are loaded. So we have guests. I guess I'm going to start things out with an announcement. So I want to share something with you here. All right. So last week, I told you guys for the first time that we are going to, in fact, be doing a live stream on May the 4th. This is our Star Wars Day live stream, Saturday, May the 4th. It's going to be at 2 p.m. Pacific time. And I told you that this week I would let you know who is going to be on the show. All right. So I'm going to show you right now who is going to be on the show. So for our May the 4th special edition of Cantina Social Hour, you can expect to see Chris from banthaschool.com, John Miko from the SW, the Vintage Collection Facebook group, and Tim from Bosk's Bounty. Will anybody else show up? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But this is our stream on Saturday, May the 4th. I'm glad it's on a Saturday, thank heavens. We will still be having social hour on Friday as normal. All right. And then on Saturday, we'll have the daytime special edition of Cantina Social Hour reacting to the HasLab announcement. Okay, that's going to be the big thing. We're celebrating Star Wars in every way, shape, and form on May the 4th, but we will be celebrating more than anything else. We will be reacting to the HasLab. We're going to talk about the details of the HasLab, whatever Hasbro shows us during their stream that morning. It's all going to be about reacting to the HasLab on Saturday, May the 4th. So I sincerely, genuinely hope that you all are able to join us. We would be honored, in fact. Bring your lightsabers, bring your favorite beverage, bring your own helmet, I guess, if you want to wear a helmet, if you want to come into the cantina anonymously. Bring your own figures. How about that? Bring your own figures. We're going to be talking about all things Star Wars on May the 4th, but especially the HasLab. So I'll bring this back up later in the show because I know sometimes folks filter in a little bit later. Yeah, Trevor, why not? Bring your jokes. Come on, bring the jokes. So, we live off the laughter, honestly. That's what we try to do. Yep, Saturday night, Peak Obi-Wan, absolutely. Friday and Saturday, 2 streams in a row. What world are we living in? Cats and dogs living together. Jacob, how's it going? The heavy hitters, yeah. Bring your own lightsabers. It's gonna be great. I'm excited. Yeah, I'm just looking at all your comments here. So very cool. Very cool. Don't bring your own droids though. I have a feeling this HasLab won't serve their kind. Yeah. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. And if I did know, I mean, I still don't know, right? So it's gonna be great. I'm excited for this stream. Yeah. So I hope you're able to join us. I also want to remark that this week, the VC YouTube channel turned 11 years on YouTube. What? How is that even possible? I don't know. Feels like just yesterday that I started talking about action figures on YouTube. But it's been 11 years. It wasn't just yesterday. It was a long time ago, actually. So yeah, thank you. Thank you guys for being with us throughout all that time. I know some of our OGs from 2013 still hang out here in the chat sometimes. And you know, it's cool. It's cool that, you know, we're able to do this. You know, I never thought that it would last that long, to be honest. I thought it was just going to be for like a little while, and then I would get bored with it, and then I would move on and go off to like knitting or something, you know, something. No, I'm just kidding. I would never do that. I would never knit, but I thought I didn't think it was going to last that long. So yeah, thank you all for continuing to support just by being here, just by tuning in and listening and hanging out. I mean, that's really what it's all about, right? It's the friends you make along the way, as they say. So definitely thank you guys very, very much. Appreciate y'all very much. Here's to 12 years next year, and then 13 and 14 and 15 and so on. I don't know how long it's going to last. I really don't know. Take each day one by one and just savor it, you know, focus on the positive. Live each day to the max and just appreciate those small moments of peace and serenity in your daily life. Because, you know, I don't know how long this is going to go on. It may not go on past next year. I mean, I don't know. I think it will, but it's just, I don't know. Just enjoy, just savor the moment and be kind, be sweet, be kind, and be helpful. And yeah, that's that. All right. Anyway, what's next, Victoria? What do you got next on the schedule? All right. So that is what we were, what I wanted to tell you who's going to be on the live stream. Next up, there are some pre-orders I want to talk about. All right, we're gonna move away from Star Wars for just a little bit, and I'm going to talk about these brand new Jurassic World Mattel pre-orders. I do want to touch on Jurassic. I'm not neglecting Jurassic. It's just there hasn't been a lot of news. So essentially, Big Bad Toy Store, I think they're the only site, as far as I can tell, that has these. They're in stock. They're not pre-orders, actually. They're in stock. They have these brand new from the new show, Jurassic World Chaos Theory. It's the brand new animated show that they're releasing soon-ish. There's some new things that Big Bad Toy Store has and nobody else has. So that's kind of cool. You got the Majungasaurus. They did a Majungasaurus, when was it? 2019, I want to say. Or 20, no, I think it was 2020. And it was okay, but like this one looks a lot better. It's a really neat looking dino. Like the proportions are just, you know, at first I thought the head looks kind of small, and maybe it does, but it looks so much better than what they often do with when they do these really ginormous heads and like small bodies and short tails. Like that looks really good to me. This is a nice looking dino. And, you know, with the Mattel Jurassic line, I've mostly dropped out of collecting it, other than the JP93 line, other than the Hammond collection, things like that. But with some of these look really good. I mean, it's really hard to not want to buy these. Like this Majungasaurus, codename Major. I don't know what that means. Maybe it'll have a name in the show. Is nice to see. I think we will see this in the show too, because like I said, they made a Majungasaurus in 2020, and it didn't look anything like this. So the fact that they resculpted it and made a brand new version kind of leads me to believe we're going to see it in the show, and it's going to look something like this. So I think it looks pretty cool. I think it looks pretty cool. And I do like the colors, and they do remind me a little bit of the one that they released in 2020. They also have a Pachyrhinosaurus, and this is another one that it just looks really good. They did a Pachyrhinosaurus back in 2018 because I guess it was supposed to be in Fallen Kingdom, and then it wasn't. Then it became Sinoceratops, but it was too late to make the toy, so they released Pachyrhinosaurus in the Sinoceratops colors. And here it is again. I don't know what all is new on this one. To me, it looks, just on the surface, I haven't compared because I don't even know where my old one is. It's probably in like storage somewhere. But it looks to me like it's a new sculpt. At least the body looks new. The legs definitely seem a little bit different. So I'm kind of, I don't know if maybe one of you guys knows, but I'm kind of erring on it being a new sculpt. But it looks really nice. I love the naturalistic color palette. Um, it's nice. This is a nice one. It definitely looks nicer than the last one they did. And of course, you still get that pop-up scan code. And you get the wheel, the little wheel action feature they've been doing for the last, since the last wave. So that's fun. Who else do we have? We also have Parasaurolophus. This is a nice sculpt because, as you may recall, they did a Parasaurolophus in the main line back in 20. When was it? Was it 20? It was when Camp Cretaceous came out and they showed them like in the caves and they were like bioluminescent. If you watched that show, Camp Cretaceous. But this is a new sculpt. It's not a chunky sculpt like that last one. This one is actually like more, it looks like the Lost World, basically. It looks like that Lost World sculpt. So this is a nice one to see. It looks like the same exact colors though as that last one, which is very interesting because we never see this color palette in the movies. But I do dig the sculpt. I definitely do dig the sculpt. The arms look like they're the same arms from the last one. The legs may be different, and then the body's definitely different. Nice tail. Nice tail. Definitely proportionate to the body. And I guess it lights up, which is kind of cool. Do you guys like your dinosaurs to light up? I mean, it doesn't. I mean, it for bioluminescence, it kind of makes sense, but is it supposed to be red? I kind of remember in Camp Cretaceous, they were like a blue color when they would light up. Of course, it's been a few years, so I could be mistaken. And in addition to that, they also have this one right here, Ceratosaurus. As you may know, they've done many Ceratosauruses over the years, many of them. And they've all kind of been based primarily on the initial sculpt from 2018. And then, of course, they did the Hammond Collection version, which is amazing. But this is a brand new sculpt, and this one looks great as well. I think this is a really nice sculpt. It looks a lot better than the first one. New coloration. I dig it. I think it's got a great looking head. The detail on the body, pebbling and striations are very nicely accomplished. And the color palette is pretty nice. You know, again, fairly naturalistic, you know, the green on cream. And then the wheel action feature. I dig this. It looks cool. I don't think it lights up, but it definitely looks cool. Other than that, there's a couple other things on here. Some of these are pre-sold out, but they have like, you know, some of these, the smaller, the danger packs. This Chasmosaurus is pretty cool looking, but it is pre-order sold out at the moment. And then there's this one right here, which we don't know anything about. We've not seen leaked photos of it. This is the Mega Roar Allosaurus. You can pre-order it, but we don't know what it looks like because Mattel doesn't make announcements on stuff. They don't send press releases the way Hasbro does. So we don't know anything about this. But yeah, that's the picture because that's all we have to see. So you can pre-order it now and maybe it'll look great. And if it doesn't, you can cancel your pre-order. But yeah, that's basically that for Mattel Jurassic. That is basically that. And I always forget that when I'm on this stream with no guest, I'm talking a lot and I got to take more sips of liquid because I'm talking a lot. What do you guys think of those? Camp Fan for Life. Yeah, Britt, definitely. I loved Camp Cretaceous. I mean, I know it really stoner as time went on, but it was fun for the most part. Early on, it was a lot of fun. The weird like you know, the biomes that they started doing, like the artificial biomes, that was all weird, but it's a cartoon. I wish Majenga's colors were safe for the T-Rex. That is a Warpath paint scheme right there. Yeah, I mean, maybe they'll do another green one day that actually looks decent. I think it looks pretty good. Thank you, Troy. I appreciate that. And I love your dino avatar. That's really cute. Looks a little like Hollow Earth Dino. Peace and serenity. I not know these things. You must be a Sith. Which is okay. I'm a little bit of a Sith sometimes. Just depends on the day. Yeah, they were greenish blue. Just watched that episode last week. Okay, thank you, Britt, for confirming. Thank you. Not gonna lie, out of all the pre-orders, Ceratosaurus seems to be a pretty good sculpt. I'm gonna pass on it, but it looks better than the last ones we got for mainline. Yeah, I mean, I will say that the more recent sculpts that Mattel's been doing look better. Like for the mainline, they definitely look better than they used to. For a while, they were going very cartoony. They were going very like short mini tails with giant heads, and it was more about like the cool factor than it was about the actual like accuracy of the product. And you know, I'm pleased to see that in recent ways, Mattel has. They seem like they're kind of like going back and trying to redo things, which I appreciate, because it tempts me to buy more things. You guys know that feeling when you get tempted to buy more things. And, you know, it's hard, but we can't always buy more things, but we want to. It's very hard. Very, very, very hard.
I want more. And I know I shouldn't.
Yeah, definitely a cool paint app. Lacking some armor and a saddle. That would be interesting. I'm a bit jealous of a robust creature line. Yeah, definitely Adam. Brit, season 4 took a dip, but season 5 stuck the landing for me. It did. It did. It ended pretty. I like the way it ended. I really did. Like, I think, you know, all the character interactions, the relationships, like they actually had growth and they progressed as a group of kids. So that was fun. And I mean, honestly, think about it. Like when you're a kid watching Jurassic Park in 1993, like, don't you think about like, hey, how cool would it be if I was Tim, if I was Lex, and I was there on the island? Like, yeah, it might be scary, but I'd be terrified. And it's kind of like what Camp Cretaceous tried to do, I feel like, in some ways. All right, shifting gears here. Did you guys know that Target has some Black Series exclusive figures that are now on pre-order? Did you know? Yeah, they're Black Series. We're still going to talk about them because why not? We're kind. So essentially, there's a couple. There's this Mandalorian Privateer that you can pre-order. Another Mandalorian using the sculpt. It's nothing new. If you've seen it once, you've seen it twice, you've seen it plenty of times. So that's up for pre-order. There's also this one's actually a little bit cooler. So this is a droid pack. You get R5D4, and this time he has his rocket jets. And he's got a clean color palette, clean paint scheme versus the previous one that came out. And he comes with 2 pit droids, and he comes with BD-72. Pit droids have not been done in Black Series. I think other than the Disney parks, they did a multi-pack, and I believe there was a pit droid in there. And I think I actually have that set somewhere, but I haven't opened it. I bought it like years ago. But it's always nice to see pit droids because pit droids are they're a blast. They really are a blast. And a little pricey at $44.99. But if you are into droids, then, you know, kind of hard to pass that setup, honestly. And also they're bringing back this helmet right here. Okay, so if you missed it and you wanted it, you can now pre-order it once again from Entertainment Earth. It is the Imperial Shock Trooper helmet. It's a nice design, not for me. I have the normal Stormtrooper, the white one, and I'm pretty satisfied with that. I don't feel like I need, you know, a bunch of repaints of the same Stormtrooper helmet. Clones, on the other hand, depending on how many they do, once they do, I mean, I have the Ahsoka 332nd one, Captain Rex. I have the all white clone. If they do a regular 501st, I can't say no. I can't say no. I absolutely can't say no. And that's all there is for Black Series, but I did want to point those out and highlight those. What have I missed? Hey, Tariq, how's it going? Thank you for joining us. Not a lot. We just talked about some Jurassic, and now we're talking about Black Series. Do you think we'll get the pit droids in TVC? You know, I hope. Actually, I'll show you guys a picture. I don't think I've even posted this on social media yet, but I took this picture last weekend. Here, I'm gonna send it to my computer, and then I will show it to you guys here so you can take a look. There it is. All right, here you go. Here it comes. Here it comes. So last weekend, I was going through all of my pit droids that I have in the 3 3/4 inch scale. And these are all, there may be one that I missed, but this is pretty much all of them. From 1999 during the Phantom Menace to 2007, 2008, the 30th anniversary collection, Saga Legends line. They released many pit droids in 2-packs. They were all released in 2-packs. These ones here anyway. I think there may have been one in like maybe in TVC, like with one of the pod racers, I want to say. But I was thinking about pit droids. I just had them on my mind, and I started pulling all of these out from storage and just kind of reminiscing about the good old days when Hasbro used to make pit droids. Are they the most articulated? No. Are they the most detailed? No. But they're fun. You're talking about little pit droids that are 2 inches tall. They don't need to be the most glamorous things in the world to be fun, to be enjoyable, to make an impact on your scene, on your diorama. So I pulled these out of storage. I looked through them. I set them on the table. I took a picture, and I'm going to try and work them into my shelves because I realized I don't have any pit droids on display. I have none on display. So I started thinking to myself, hey, pit droids, man, I need to put these on the shelf. Right? So that's what I wanted to do. Yeah, so pit droids. Pit droids are the bomb. Britt says pit droids might actually be the most fun action figures. The poses you can do are great. They're a blast. They really are. Yeah. So all of these they're from 1999 to about 2008. I want to say all of the ones in this picture. Pit droid state of mind for sure. Adam, you have one too? That's in a closed position. Yes. One came with Jar Jar in the Power of the Jedi line. There's that one Jar Jar figure that's like this, and he's sticking out his long tongue, and he came with a closed up pit droid. I need to pull that one out. I forgot about that. Thank you for reminding me, Adam. Cool little big collection of pit droids. Thank you. Lots there I don't have. One that's missing is the one with the really small head. Is that, I think I don't know which one of these has a small head, but I feel like most of these are the same sculpt, except maybe the episode 1. So if you look on the far right of the picture, there's one that's holding like a gun of some sort. Like that one, and the one he's next to came out in 1999 or 2000 during the Phantom Menace line. Those are the very first pit droid figures that they ever made. And then the rest of them came out during the 30th anniversary collection era. And they all came with those cases, which is pretty nice, the little storage cases. Yeah, pit droids are great. We need more pit droids. I love that they brought him back in Mandalorian, but we need to see more of them. Thank you, Adam. Yeah. And they actually, you wouldn't think so, but they actually stand fairly well for being little like figures with big old heads. They actually stand pretty decent, and like the range of movement you get with the head is really nice. So let's hear it for pit droids, y'all. Let's hear it for pit droids. All right. So, you guys want to talk about TVC? Yes, no, maybe so. So, apparently, news started spreading that Hasbro or Target rather, is canceling the vintage collection. Did you guys hear this last weekend? That Target is canceling the vintage collection. Now this first came about from Yakface. Jason posted it on his website, and then he made a post here on his Instagram page. Basically, what it is this here. If you look at this picture, and now we have 4 people tuning in from Instagram. Very nice. Maybe we'll just keep doing the Instagram aspect of the YouTube stream because people enjoy it. Then why not? But anyway, if you look here, $0, $0. Does that mean you get free TVC at Target? No, it doesn't. It means that they sold through whatever stock they had, and they zeroed out the DPCI assortment. Now at Target, you may know that Target uses what's called a DPCI number. And that is a Target thing. Walmart doesn't use it. Nobody else uses it. And they assign a DPCI number for every single product that they sell. It doesn't matter if it's Star Wars figures. It doesn't matter if it's G.I. Joe. It doesn't matter if it's a Mattel Jurassic dinosaur. It doesn't matter if it's a bar of soap. They have a DPCI number for everything. And here's the thing. DPCI numbers are a good and a bad thing. They're good because they help Target to keep track internally of automated orders. What I mean is that these orders are done automatically when stock gets to a certain point. The exact number I can't tell you. What I do know is that a case of TVC figures has 8 figures, right? I think we all know that. If they accumulate on the shelf, like let's say that a case of let's go back to 2021. Okay, the amazing Lando Calrissian figure, amazing figure, was packed 3 per case. And I think we all saw it coming that no matter how amazing Lando is, no matter how great that figure is, 3 per case of anything other than Darth Vader or, some versions of Luke Skywalker or maybe a stormtrooper is going to peg warm. So as early as this year, and probably still, they're still hanging out at some Walmart stores, most definitely. I don't know about Target anymore. I haven't seen them at Target personally for a little bit, but I know some people did. If the automated system shows that there's 10 TVC figures based on a single DPCI, it doesn't matter if they're all Lando. It doesn't matter if they're all Vel Sartha. It doesn't matter if they're all Cassian Andor. It's not going to automatically reorder because it's going to show that there's 10 TVC, and they're not going to sell them until maybe, let's say, it gets to 3 TVC. I don't know the exact number, but let's say it's 3. At that point, the system will do an automated order for another case. Now, I did publish a video early this week. How many of you saw it? How many of you saw the video? I know a few of you did. Basically, I did a video reacting to this because I thought it was an important topic. I rarely do reaction videos. You guys know that. I always plan these videos in advance. This is the video here. Target cancels TVC. In this video, I tried to go into what I just explained to you in more of a short form, and kind of talk about the issues that may lead to Target, reasons that Target would cancel carrying TVC. What I can tell you is that Target has not done this since 2018 with the vintage collection. The DPCI number did reset at least once, but it wasn't where they marked everything down and then brought in another, months later, brought in another DPCI. It happened at the same time. It was simultaneous, so that on the shelf, you wouldn't notice that, TVC was not being carried. Right now, they're not being carried. They removed the pegs. There's still pegs for Retro Collection, Black Series, the 3 3/4 inch Epic Heroes line, or 4-inch, whatever it is. But right here, TVC, there's no pegs. If you go over to the NECA and Funko Pop area that Target has, in the back electronics area, there's nothing there for TVC. So it's not that they moved it or they're waiting to put it on an end cap or anything like that. There's no DPCI internally for that Target has. And through a series of inquiries, I can tell you here now that there is no DPCI for the vintage collection at Target. There's not one coming. It's been zeroed out. It's gone. So I would not expect TVC to come back to Target. That's the reality. In this video, I go into the reasons why I think this happened. And if you watch the video, I don't want to bore you by going over the whole video, but basically, there's a lot of issues with TVC, not in terms of the quality of the product, because I would say the quality of the product, by and large, is better than it's ever been. Look at any newly sculpted figure. Look at any newly released vehicle. They're expensive, but they're amazing. I think that the issues that plagued and continue to plague TVC, maybe not only at Target, but in other retailers as well, is price point is very high. $16.99 is a lot for a 4-inch figure. It's a lot for a 4-inch figure. Maybe if you're a lifelong collector like I am, or like you guys are, you've been buying TVC since 2010. You've been collecting since the 1970s, the vintage days. You've adapted to price increases over all those years, right? You still pay it because you collect and you love the product. But if you think about like a family, a gift giver, somebody, an aunt or an uncle, a grandparent who knows that their niece or nephew or grandchild loves Star Wars, they go into the Star Wars section at Target and they see a vintage collection figure for $16.99. They see a retro collection figure for $9.99. And then they see an Epic Hero series figure for $9.99. You can't reasonably expect that grandparent, that aunt, that uncle is going to understand the difference between the two. The only difference they're going to understand is the price, right? So if you see a $9.99 figure and then you see a $16.99 figure, you're going to buy the $9.99 figure. That's the reality of things. So I think the price point is very much against TVC in terms of, not in terms of collectors and people that are serious about collecting this line, but in terms of people that don't have the background knowledge and understanding about the line. Folks that are trying to buy that gift, folks that are just kind of casually walking through the toy aisle and looking, browsing over things. We understand the nuances between TVC and retro and Epic Hero, but most people don't. Not to mention, if you're a young person, a child, a teenager, you're trying to build your collection, what's going to be easier for you to build, 5 TVC figures or 5 Epic Hero figures? We're talking major price differences here. TVC isn't a $9.99 price point anymore. It's not a $10.99 price point. It's not a $12.99 price point. It's not a $14.99 price point. It's now $16.99. That's the MSRP on these guys. So that's the reason they brought back Epic Heroes, because the price was just going up and up and up and up and up. The other thing that I outlined in the video is that there's not a frequency of a reliable frequency of a product arriving to stores. Most, from my own observations, and this is completely anecdotal because it's my own observations, but I believe them to be fairly common based on conversations I've had with other collectors, is that most stores, Target stores, seem to only get one case of each wave. And then there's a drought for like a month, 2 months until they get the next wave of figures. That's been my personal observation. I don't see my local Target stores restocking the same cases of the vintage collection. They may get 1, they may get 2. And then once they sell through that stock, it's kind of just whatever's left over that just sits there, whatever nobody is whatever's staying on the pegs until the next wave. That's what I was saying. And I don't think that's really a healthy way for a product line to run. Now, is that Hasbro's fault? Is that Target's fault? Like that, I have no idea. Like that, I have no idea whatsoever. Is Target not ordering enough to keep that, system going, a little bit more frequently? Or is it Hasbro not producing enough product to meet demand? I genuinely don't know. I do know that if you buy online, there's usually plenty to go around. Unless you wait like until a wave has come and go and then you go back later, then you might be out of luck. But when you're talking about shopping in the toy aisle, the vintage collection isn't. The only thing that's accumulating is the peg warmers that tend to happen because they're packed too highly in the case. And there's not very many of those, to be honest. I think for the most part, Hasbro's done a really good job at sort of managing that. Lando, I mentioned. Bill Sartha kind of hung around a little bit. Cassian Andor hung around a little bit. But that's basically been about it. I haven't really seen a lot of peg warmers in the last few years. And, that's hard to do. So props to Hasbro on that. But there's no doubt that some of those peg warmers did hurt the frequency of some of these other newer cases arriving at retail. So, so far we're at price point, we're at peg warmers, we're at lack of product regularly flowing through stores. Another thing that I mentioned in the video is that you have the deluxe line, right? You have the deluxe line. It's priced at $24.99 or higher, depending on what the figure is. And we know that plastic-free packaging has been very detrimental to Hasbro's toy sales. They may have had good intentions with plastic-free packaging, but it just didn't work. For TVC, thankfully, they never tried it, but in Black Series, they did, and sales went down. You know, even if you're a casual gift giver, you're going through the toy aisle, you see something where you can't see the toy. I mean, that's something that's, since the beginning of time, toys have been where you can see them, right? But suddenly you can't see them. Well, people are like, oh, no, I don't want that. I can't see what it looks like. I'm going to buy something I can see. I think the deluxe line really hurt TVC at Target, because the past few times that I've gone and seen, when, you know, before they clearanced everything out, I would see a lot of deluxe, but not necessarily any single basic TVC. So I really think the deluxe had an impact there. I think TVC, the main line, was guilty by association with the deluxe line, and that's part of the reason that they were like, oh, let's just get rid of all of that. It's not selling. It's not moving. We're not going to have it anymore. The other thing is, I think there's too many options. You have Retro Collection, you have the Epic Heroes, and you have the Vintage Collection, and they're all 4 inches. You know, it's a company that's competing with itself by cannibalizing each of its assortments, by pitting them one against the other. And that's just not really good business. Like, honestly, I know that Hasbro has the intent that each of these lines serves a different purpose, right? But if you're just a normal person, you know, going to look for a gift, that concept is out the window, because you're just looking at the cheapest, lowest price point. The whole thing's kind of, you know, I cannot blame Target for not carrying TVC, honestly. The other thing that I got to remark about is, you know, the character selection. You know, sure, we have some great ones. You know, everybody wants the Mandalorian, everyone wants Darth Vader and Luke Skywalker and Stormtroopers and Boba Fett, but some of these figures, like that I mentioned earlier, like Vel Sartha, like Cassian Andor, like those are really hard for me as a collector to even want to display, because I mean, I loved the Andor show. I think it was amazing. I rewatched it a second time recently. I went to visit my parents, and I watched it with my mother, and she really loved it. She thought it was great. But it's not a toyetic show. And characters like that are very scene specific. We only see Andor at the beginning of the series wearing the show. We only see Vel Sartha wearing it like for a little bit. Like those aren't really, that's not a formula for figures that are going to sell. And, you know, maybe part of that is Lucasfilm saying, Hasbro, you need to make these. You need to sell these. You need to have Vel. You need to have Cassian. Maybe. I don't know. But either way, you can't make those and pack them 2 per case and then expect that, you know, people are going to want them. The kids are going to want those characters. So, you know, I think character selection, I didn't talk about it in the video, but I think character selection was definitely a factor to some extent. You know, the stores want more Mandalorian. I mean, that's what's been selling the last few years. They want more, you know, Darth Vader. They want more Stormtrooper. They want the heavy hitters, the evergreen stuff that people are always going to want. So character selection is really important. All it takes is a few poor choices to tank a toy line. And I think we've seen instances of that throughout, you know, history. So it's really important that, you know, if you have a toy line that, you know, you're giving, TVC is a collector-oriented line. They're treating it as a boutique line, as they have for the last few years. There's fewer releases than there were in the past. They're more expensive. They're catering to a very specific mindset of a collector. And if you're not satiating that, and you're trying to do things that people aren't necessarily clamoring for, you know, you're going to be creating problems. And again, I can't say that's all Hasbro's fault. I think some of it's very well Lucasfilm's fault, you know, dictating what choices are made in terms of what product to release. But, you know, in the end, all of these factors contributed to this right here. I don't think we're going to ever see the vintage collection at Target again. And I don't say that because I'm trying to be, it's not hyperbole. It's completely based on the evidence, based on conversations I've had with people at Target, behind the scenes. I think that's kind of where things are going. We'll see what happens with Walmart. If it happened at Target, though, I mean, the only good thing I can say about this is that most collectors I know, they buy online anyway. Even if they go toy hunting in the store, they're pre-ordering online. They're pre-ordering on through the fan channel, right? Entertainment Earth, Big Bad Toy Store, Hasbro Pulse, Amazon, right? So it's not really. I mean, Target is a major player in carrying Hasbro's product, obviously, right? But at this point in time, I think most collectors are buying through the fan channel anyway. That I don't think it's going to have like as huge of an effect as you might think. I don't think it's definitely not a good thing, right? It's never a good thing for a store to stop carrying something you want to buy from them. But my biggest concern is that, if fewer retailers are carrying TVC, it's not going to allow Hasbro to invest more in the line and grow the line and make more creatures, make new, what I call accessory assortments, like the beasts, like the smaller vehicles, like the bigger vehicles, like, just anything to kind of world build. I think it's going to be, if you have one less major investor, investing in your product, then I think it's going to be harder for you to grow the product line. That's my biggest concern. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I think most collectors are buying online. That's been my experience through, just from what I've seen and and my own purchasing habits. I rarely go to the store, to be honest. Especially Walmart. I rarely go to Walmart. I go to Target, some now and then, but I don't go thinking I'm going to buy an action figure, because it just doesn't usually happen that way. I know I have to order online these days because that's just been the reality for years now, right? I think we've all grown, we've become accustomed to that, especially after the pandemic. Yeah, that's what's happening. Should you panic? No, don't panic. I don't think, I think there's pros and cons to this. Like I said, the biggest con is that, perhaps the product line doesn't grow the way many of us would like and envision it to grow. But TVC isn't over by any stretch of the imagination. Steve Evans, who, we had here on Cantina Social Hour last month, he posted on his Instagram that, that it's not dead. It's not, I have no concerns about TVC being dead. There's pipelines, there's many things. Their product line is in the bag for the next 18 months. The HasLab is coming. Don't let this one thing affect your collecting habits of the vintage collection. Keep collecting TVC, because there's still a lot of cool stuff that, we're going to have access to, especially with this new HasLab coming. So don't let this affect, how you're collecting the line or your support or enjoyment of the line, because there's still a lot of good stuff to come. And if we stop collecting it, then that's when there's bound to be problems down the road. So, is it perfect? No, I think I've outlined all the reasons why it's not, but there's a lot of reasons why TVC is awesome, and it remains, the heritage scale remains the greatest action figure line of all time, the greatest world building action figure line of all time, and is just, after all these years, remains such an awesome thing that we still have and are very fortunate to have. Because a lot of toy lines have come and gone, right? A lot of toy lines have come and gone. We're really lucky TVC still exists. Keep collecting it, keep supporting it, and there are good things to come. So don't worry too much. Maybe a little bit, but don't worry too much. All right, I want to go through your chat, see what you guys have to say about this topic. A lot of comments I see. Caesar says, the biggest issue has been that Target groups TVC figures at the same DPCI. It's extremely hard to find new world figures. Yep, that's what I was saying. Like, they're all under the same DPCI. You really need like the to do like pop binder or something, but even that's like really like unreliable. Thank you, Mary. I'm glad that you saw the video. Same to you, Mechanized. Thank you. Timothy, I noticed they're selling more TVC figures off their websites than in stores. Yeah. Tariq, thank you. Glad that you saw it too. Hasbro did not just ever produce Lando, they sent all their unsold Landos to Targets and Walmarts, and since they have the same DPCI retailers just stuck. I haven't seen evidence that they did that. I know that the figure was pack 3 per case, so if your Target got 2 cases of that late 2021 Lando Emperor Palpatine wave, it was a great wave, by the way. It was a fantastic wave. I think IG-11 was in that wave. I forget who else was in that wave. It was a great wave. If your Target store got 2 cases of that and nobody bought Lando, then that's automatically 3 Landos that are hanging on the pegs. If your store got 3 cases, that's 9 Landos hanging on the pegs. Let's say that somebody bought 2 of them. Okay, that's still 7 Landos hanging on the pegs, right? So I haven't seen evidence that they Hasbro sold or sent Landos to Targets and Walmarts, but I do know that, you know, because of the size of the collections and how many were packed in the waves, that's what happened. So pegworm, that's why it's called pegwormers. Let's see here. Thank you, Adam. Glad that it was helpful for you as well. Dodgson, a crime against humanity. If not, then it's a major crime against Geneva. Yeah. Yeah, it's unfortunate. Tim, Target probably doesn't know the difference between Epic Heroes and Vintage Collection. I mean, they do based on the DPCI, but like I said, if you're a gift giver, an aunt, an uncle, a grandparent, you're going through the store, you know, you're not going to know the nuances between the different assortments, right? So you're going to buy what's least expensive, and that's going to be an Epic Heroes or even a retro collection. I think now that retro collection is like what, $11.99? Still, that's cheaper than $16.99. Walmart's no better. I wouldn't be surprised if they cancel TVC. I mean, who knows? It could very well be. It'll be interesting to see what happens with Walmart, for sure. You buy most figures online anyway. Yeah, most collectors I know buy them online anyway. Hazard Pulse. Yeah, Hazard Pulse isn't perfect either, but I think it's what I like about Hazard Pulse is I think it has potential. I think once you work out the kinks and you figure out how to make Hazard Pulse, first of all, a better website, because the website isn't that great. Once you figure that out and you're able to expand it and find a way to keep things in stock longer, to keep pre-orders in stock longer, I think it has a lot of potential as a business model. But we'll see. Trevor, I haven't seen any new TVC at Walmart in more than 6 to 8 months. I believe it. Distribution of figures could always be better. Yeah, that's a tale as old as time, right? Yeah, distribution is it's always been, nobody's ever had anything positive to say about distribution. Tariq, yeah, they only got TVC when I asked her specifically as a gift. Otherwise, I got 6 hair and a 6-inch figure. I guess, yeah. I tell people when it comes to Star Wars, I tell them don't buy me Star Wars. Like it's my favorite thing, right? But don't buy me Star Wars because you're gonna buy me something that one I already have, or 2 something I don't want. That's gonna be like something weird, like a 12-inch, you know, Hero Series, like plastic $10 like Darth Vader, and like, please don't buy me Star Wars. I buy my own Star Wars. Buy me other things. Or don't buy me anything. You don't really need to buy me anything. Road Killer, one wave every couple of months. Yep, that's my observation. I look like I'm working at Target tonight, right? Is it just coincidence that I'm wearing red like a Target worker? Have any of you ever worn red at Target and somebody comes up and asks you for help? It's happened to me a few times. It's just kind of funny. I just kind of look at them like, and then sometimes they're finally like, oh, you don't work here, do you? I'm like, no, I don't. But good luck finding somebody that does, because finding a Target worker to help you is like finding a needle in a haystack. eBay half the time. Yep, you got to get on those pre-orders. Beach Ball Grogu is the new peg warmer. Is he? I haven't even seen that wave in stores, so I mean, I don't know. TVC Deluxe line is overrated and overpriced. Target just puts them on clearance or like to send unsold inventory to Ross. If you guys were tuning into the episode with Steve Evans from Hasbro, Cantina Social Hour with Steve last month, He asked the chat, he asked you guys if you'd rather see the deluxe figures or if you'd rather see a single carded figure that's deluxe, like they did with the First Order Sith Trooper back in 2019. And pretty much, I think everybody I saw respond to Steve said they would prefer the single carded in the deluxe bubble action figure. So fingers crossed that that's the format they follow. No more of these deluxe boxes. Cod Banthus coming. And then we have Zeb coming. But I think beyond that, I hope that they don't do any more of these deluxe boxes because I don't, they're not selling. Here in Canada, it's the same with stores getting one case and it's one and done. Thank you for sharing that, Stephen. That's what I mean. Like most people I talk to say the same thing. 3 lines at the same time. 3 lines at the same time. Yep, that's 3 3/4 inch or 4 inch, depending on how you categorize epic heroes at the same time. Yeah, it's nuts. Like I say, it's cannibalizing. It's competing with your own product lines. I'd rather get Veil Sarth and TVC than Black Series, but they should have given us a box set instead of friend. I agree. So Black Series, for a long time now, it's more about the moment, right? It's more about what is the new media? Is it Obi-Wan Kenobi? Is it the Book of Boba Fett? It's been that, right? It's like it's more of like an impulse buy sort of line, I guess. Not to take away from those who collect it seriously, because I know there are those, I have friends in the community that do that. But TVC is the world building line. So when they announce figures like Dedra Miro for the Black Series, I'm like, hold on a minute. Like, yeah, it's been a year and a half since Andor was on, but do Black Series collectors really want Dedra Miro? I mean, I know I've heard a lot of TVC collectors asking for her. So some of that just is a little confusing to me. Andor, I like I said, I love the show, but I'm not craving a lot of figures for it. If you want, like me personally, what I would like to see is more Imperials. I'd love to see Dedra Miro. I'd love to see General Yularen. I would love to see I don't know all the Imperialist names, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I'd even like to see like a Cyril Karn. Like, wouldn't that be fun? Like, comes with a little bowl of cereal or something. That'd be fun. But I don't need like a lot from that show because, like I said, it just wasn't toyetic. Would I take, an Andy Serkis figure from Andor? Yeah, I would. I would take it, but I'm not craving it. I'd rather have the rest of the Inquisitors from Obi-Wan Kenobi. I'd rather have more figures from Mandalorian Season 3, like the Dark Trooper Moff Gideon, like the Beskar Stormtroopers, like the Praetorian Guard. That kind of stuff I'd rather have than like more Andor figures. Adam, as a collector, having TVC makes it fun to branch out and pick up items from these other lines. But without TVC, none of these other lines hold much inherent interest. No scarce. TVC can hurt all lines. I mean, I do buy from other lines too. You guys know that the VC back in 2013 was, one of the first channels to do Black Series reviews, and to this day, I still pick up a Black Series now and then. I'm not opposed to it or anything. If people love it, collect it. I have no problem with that at all. It's just there's so much product, and at some point, you kind of got to realize you're competing with your own products. I will support the line if they make good choices, but as the price goes up, interest goes down. I think prices are going to continue to go up. I think that's the reality of where we are. And if you have one less investor, target, putting money into TVC, and you have your factories as a result making less, I don't see how prices wouldn't go up. I mean, I don't think it'll be more than 2 years, I'm gonna say, until a vintage collection figure costs $20. I really don't. I think within 2 years, you're gonna see that $20 price point. I think we're gonna before then, we'll see another price increase, maybe $18.99, something like that. And then we'll see the $19.99. I'm not trying to doom and gloom or anything, but I'm just being real. Target doesn't seem to be the place for Star Wars toys. Walmart, maybe they'll thrive, but online sales might be the future. Online sales are the future. I mean, Amazon, look at that. They started with books. When I first bought on Amazon.com, it was a bookstore. That was when I was like, that was a long time ago now. But Amazon may have been the first online retailer I bought from outside of eBay. I think eBay was the first. But I think Amazon may have been the second. But look, they're not just the books, they sell everything now. Like, what can you want that you can't get on Amazon? You can get groceries, you can get tires, you can get all kinds of stuff on Amazon. I think that's just the future of this. You know, retailers, you know, they're it's the same thing that you saw happen with the shopping malls back in the 80s and 90s, where, you know, they made, like, you know, the small main street downtowns of, you know, smaller town America fall by the wayside and give way to the rise of the shopping malls. And, you know, then you see it with the online retailers doing the same thing to the shopping malls, right? I think that's just going to be the where things are going, which is unfortunate. I mean, I think it's great when you have more options. What I see with Amazon and Target and Walmart online is just big monopolies, essentially. But you see the same thing in entertainment with Disney and, you know, a lot of these Universal and Warner Brothers and all that. So not ideal for sure, but that's simply the reality of where things are at. I haven't got a single card at Target in over a year and a half. Who needs Target if you have Amazon Impulse? I hate buying online. It costs too much for shipping. Who pays for shipping these days, Trevor? I'm curious. Where are you buying your stuff? Like, I don't pay for shipping, like, ever. The only place I do pay for shipping is Big Bad Toy Store, but it's only $4, and that's only when I'm ready to ship my pile of loot. I usually let things accumulate. I feel bad doing it. Sometimes I let things accumulate at Big Bad Toy Store until I absolutely must ship it. Then it's just $4. I don't pay shipping anywhere else. Entertainment and Earth, no. Hazard Pulse, no. Amazon, no. They don't carry TVC. They should not carry exclusives either. They're not. They're only going to carry Black Series exclusives, it looks like. If they wanted to get Andor for TVC recognition through the trial, then Andor branded troopers would have been the way to go. They did that clone, but they should have done a Stormtrooper. Yeah, I mean, I can see that. Had to buy Kenner Color Boba Fett from eBay seller. I can never find it at Target. It was sold out online. I'm trying to think how I got that one. I think I bought it through Target's eBay store. That's how I eventually got it. Like a month later after when it's in stock on their website. I think Target has an eBay store. If you guys didn't know this, an official Target eBay store, and they sell stuff. I mean, obviously, and I think that's how I got my TVC vintage color Boba Fett. Amazon Prime Impulse Premium cover shipping. That's true, Tariq. Absolutely. And on Entertainment Earth, you know, if you meet the minimum. And usually I do, because with Entertainment Earth, I buy the whole case of TVC. I'll buy the whole case. And if you spend, I think it's over $75, you get the free shipping. A case already costs, what, $125 or something? So not so bad. And if you use the code Victoria on Entertainment Earth, you get 10% off. You present valid points. Most of them I've heard from Blue Harvest Collector on Instagram. Why don't you ask the right questions when you sit down with the Hazard team? I've watched the Q&As. It's just a love fest. Interesting. I think we ask these questions. I mean, I'm thinking back to when I first started doing interviews with Hasbro in 20, was it 16 or 17? I don't remember, but what I can tell you is that when I talk to them, when you do a Q&A with Hasbro, most of the time they screen your questions in advance. And if they don't like, if their PR firm doesn't like the questions, they don't let you ask the questions. So maybe that could explain some of that. I would beg to differ in terms of it being a love fest per se. I think that I ask questions that a lot of outlets don't. Some outlets ask, oh, what's your favorite action figure? Or what's your favorite Star Wars movie? And that's all well and dandy, but those are questions that can be asked like after your interview. Interviewing is hard, is what I'll say. When you're there, when you're on the convention floor, and you can barely hear what the person is saying to you, which if you've ever watched my Q&As at Comic-Con or at Celebration, I have a microphone, I have headphones, because I can't hear because it's so loud in there. And even then, it's very difficult to hear. So you have people, it's so crowded, you have people walking by, and I'm not trying to make excuses or anything, but in the moment when you're there face to face with this, representatives of this multi-million-dollar company, there's a lot of pressure. But I think despite that, we do a pretty good job of the questions we ask, and most of them are based on, what observations we make in the community. I don't think anybody would disagree with that. So yeah, I take a little bit of issue with calling it a love fest, because I definitely don't think it's that. But at the same time, I do believe in being positive. I think this channel has always promoted optimism and positivity, and being able to ask things in a constructive way that prevents you from demeaning people, and definitely values their input, their expertise, and them as a human being, because at the end of the day, that's all each of us is. And as consumers, the reality is that we're not privy to a lot of the behind the scenes that goes on with the decision-making processes at these companies. And that's just the way it is. So when, things aren't quite right, we ask them. And I think, any Q&A you go back and look at that I've done with Hasbro, you'll see sometimes, the expressions on their faces aren't always, they're tough questions that we ask. But it's always constructive. It's never in a negative way. It's never in a demeaning way. It's in a respectful way. And I think you have to really balance that, because if you can't balance that, then you're not going to be able to participate in a Q&A again. And I think, that's the way things are. We need a Jawa sandcrawler. Yes, we do, but not yet. I want a sandcrawler really badly. I know I've said this like every stream, but we have one. It's not perfect. Like the Imperial Shuttle, it is not perfect. But if we're thinking about HasLab, we need more things that we don't already have. We need things that have never been made, dream projects, right? Like the sail barge, like the Razor Crest, like the upcoming Canto Bight sail barge. No, I'm just kidding. That's not what it is. I like to joke that's what it is, but it's not. Probably. We do need a new sandcrawler, but I'm okay with waiting just a little bit longer on that one. It'd be unwise if they cancel the TVC line. They're not going to cancel the TVC line. That's not going to happen. It's good to go for the next few years. I'm not worried about that at all. HasLab is coming too. That will spur further development. Absolutely. There's going to need to be things to tie into the HasLab. Just as we saw with the Razor Crest, the sail barge, the Ghost, you're going to see product tie into it. And I don't think it's going to matter that Target isn't there to support it, because I think a lot of if you look back at what Hasbro did with the barge, you look at what they did with some of these multi-packs to help supplement, like, the barge and the Razor Crest. Those were all online exclusives, so fan channel exclusives. So I don't think that's going to really hamper a whole lot. Hasbro or Target both made it confusing so that TVC looked bad, and now they don't want to carry it. Yeah, I mean, I outlined all those reasons. And, I think some of it to blame is Target, some of it is Hasbro. But, at the end of the day, it comes down to sales, which, that's what it is at the end. It doesn't matter who the company is. At the end of the day, it comes down to sales. If Target isn't making money off of something, then why are they going to keep selling it? They're not. That's the bottom line is it's going to come down to how much money is being made, how much is being lost. And if it's even worth it, if you're making 20 cents off of a TVC figure, maybe you give up that shelf space and you give it to another company where you're going to make $1 off of each figure sale. Hasbro Pulse isn't perfect, but the job is Dennison's 4-pack. I had to buy exclusively from that website. Yeah, that's just going to be the reality from now. Is that we're going to see more from Hasbro Pulse. We're going to see more from the fan channel because that's where things seem to be trending. Outside of, shifting away from the big box stores and more towards the online market. I think I wear white when I go shopping at Target. Maybe that's the key. Maybe I need to wear more white, but then people would be like, who's this? Why is she wearing white? She never wears white. It's very rare that she wears white. Also, Victoria, I was wondering if you were aware of the Star Wars chili ads. I rewatched clips of those ads dozens of times. I like to go for a semester. I haven't seen that, Dodgson. Send me on Instagram. Send it to me because I'm curious now. Carded collectors don't need to buy 2 deluxe boxes. No, they don't. But are they helping to move more product by buying 2? Are they increasing sales by doing just that? Hammerhead will save all Star Wars lanes in 2024. Hey, Left Coast Graphics. Maybe will Hammerhead be our Ithorian savior that will elevate us to the next level of existence? I mean, I just don't know. Maybe that's what we're all waiting on, is Hammerhead to swoop in and save the day and deliver us from the corporate evils of Target refusing to sell TVC. I don't know. Maybe Hammerhead is our savior. We should get behind Hammerhead, you guys. Dark Nerdy Gonzo, how's it going? One time, looking very Pedro Pascal, I must say, in that picture there. One time at Walmart, I dressed like an employee and actually snuck in the back behind a case of Legacy Collection figures. And needless to say, I snagged myself a battle-damaged Darth Vader that way. Funny part, I ran into an employee in the back who thought I was a new hire and let me. That's good. That's good. I like that. I like that story. That's cool. But yeah, that is the Mission Impossible stuff for sure. What's the latest Hasbro said about the Tonica sisters? Has Steve Evans mentioned anything? The last thing that I asked them, if you look at my the Vintage Collection podcast episode, which is here on YouTube with Emily Cantaloupe from the Hasbro Star Wars design team. I asked her about it on that, and she said that they didn't have anything to announce. So that's kind of where things are at officially. Yeah, that's where things are officially. We don't have any other word beyond that. So Trevor wants more Andor figures. Deidre, Luthen, Mon Mothma, B2 Emo, Bix, Cyril, Cinta, Brasso, Major Partiga. That's the guy I was thinking of. I can't remember his name. I wouldn't mind him. I liked him. I like the Imperials. They're cool. I mean, they're not cool, but they're cool. Luthen would be cool. I know a lot of people want Luthen. Just picked up the new wave at Walmart for $13.99 each. Any thoughts why? I don't know. Walmart gonna Walmart. That's why. The Andor wave was $16.99. I'm not sure if people are going to buy single carded for $18.20. I think there might be a major change if the doom and gloom happens. Maybe. And if that's the case, then the product line will just die off. I mean, that's just what's going to happen. I mean, I don't think the TVC is going to last forever. That's what any of us think. I think, around the time of The Force Awakens, 2015, you saw a lot of people coming into collecting. Not just because of Star Wars, but because it suddenly became cool to be nerdy and to be, trendy and unique and weird, right? Like before then, like, oh, you collect, you're such a nerd, you're a geek, the kind of things I heard as a kid. But it suddenly became cool to be all of those things like around 2015. And you saw all these people coming in to collect not just Star Wars, but NECA with the TMNT and all these other companies that just started like Hot Toys, just like just exploded. And I think, that bubble of adults who used to be kids who are now old enough to have disposable income and spend it all on plastic toys, I think that bubble is popping. I think that across the board, you're going to see smaller product lines, not just from Hasbro, but from other companies as well. I think, Super 7, they're not doing the Disney stuff anymore. I think you're going to see the same thing with other companies start reining it in, and toys as a whole are just going to become a little more more bare bones in terms of how they serve as action figure lines, as product lines. I think that's gonna become the new normal, because I think that bubble is currently shrinking. I've been buying online since 1999, no problem at all. Very cool. Very cool. I don't pay shipping, buying at Pulse and Amazon. There you go. Who needs buying figures at overpriced prices when you can take advantage of clearance deals or sales? Well, if you're not finding it at Target anymore, you're not going to be able to get a clearance or a sale deal there. The only way you're going to do that is online at Walmart, or I'm sorry, on Amazon or Pulse, but they don't really clearance things out. I mean, I think Hasbro has really scaled back on TVC and Black Series. Things don't really go to clearance the way they did, 5 years ago, 3 years ago, even like a year or two ago. Like, you're not seeing as much stuff produced. The product lines are smaller. And stuff isn't really going to clearance the way that it used to. And I think that's not just a Hasbro thing. If you go to Ollie's or Five Below and you look at what's on the shelf, it's stuff from like years ago, right? It's not like anything like that recent, because I think they've kind of figured out like how many they can realistically sell. Amazon and Target at one point required me to pay for shipping. In Target's case, it was the Carnotaurus. Yeah, I mean, it depends. Like Target, if you pay over $35, then it's free shipping. Amazon too, I think, has a threshold, but I don't know what that is. If you have Prime, though, it's free. If you buy directly from Amazon. If you're buying from a third-party seller, then yeah, they're going to charge you shipping. Yeah, that's the thing. You got to meet the minimum. Like what I do sometimes, if like something's like $33 and I want to get the free shipping, I'll add like a candy bar or like a toothpaste or something like that, just to kind of get it over the edge. And then, free shipping. Good point, Mary. If you get the Target Red card, free shipping. I don't have that, but that's good. You're definitely positive. Present your points in a positive way. My point is that there is clearly so many things wrong with Hasbro, and they don't want to face it. They want to control the interviews and they don't want facts to show their true faces. It's what I told him late celebrations at Comic-Con. She had no real response. I mean, like I said, these are people like like us, and they're doing a job. I think many of them are genuine fans and love what they do. But I think for anybody that works for a private, for a corporation or a company, you're not going to badmouth your employer. I mean, that's just not gonna happen. Dodgson, I thought about that, but then I saw it does a monthly fee. We need a HasLab retro collection. Best in place. Don't say that. Don't say that. Love Coast Graphics. I love your enthusiasm, but don't say that. No, I'm just kidding. If you want that, go for it. Start a campaign. Not my first choice, but I would never tell somebody what they should not be enthusiastic about, because if that's what you're enthusiastic about and love and want, go for it. If Hammerhead can't sit, it will completely fail. Hammerhead has to sit. Hammerhead has to sit. That's all he does in the movie. Do you ever see him standing or walking around or playing baseball? No, he's just sitting there in the booth with some other characters, just, you know, throwing back a few cold ones, having a good time. That's the Hammerhead we need as a TVC figure. Fingers crossed. The upcoming HasLab is the Cantina, which surely get the Tonicas then. Would be so pleasing for not just collectors, the Angela Stains as well. Yeah. How's it going, Daniel? Yeah, I mean, I 100%. I made a video about, you know, the 5 viable HasLabs, and the Cantina was one of them. I absolutely think it would be awesome if it was the Cantina, but, you know, we'll see. We only have a couple more weeks. We'll see what it is soon enough, and we'll react to it live on our May the 4th live stream. It would be cool. Target carries steel books. Really come in handy. I mean, Walmart is okay. Seller problems, they don't price match. Walmart doesn't price match. I think, wasn't that their whole like thing a long time ago, is that they used to do that? Always the lowest prices. Steel books are nice. They're very nice. I don't buy a whole lot of like digital media anymore. I still do occasionally, but I don't buy as much as I used to now that everything's on streaming. But I still, if it's Star Wars, am I going to buy it? Yeah. If it's like something I really love, I'm going to buy it. So I have Prime and get free shipping. We're still talking about that shipping. I love it. We need to do a live stream about, you know, how to, maybe we'll make it a Cantina Chatter podcast. You guys remember that show? Maybe we'll bring it back and we'll do an episode about that, like how to be a budget efficient collector or something. Mr. Stevie is a fan. Emily and her husband are probably fans. They are. If you look at any of Emily's posts on Instagram, like her house is all toys. Like not all toys, but she has a lot of toys. Really cool toys. What if the HasLab is not the Cantina? What if it's not? It could be something else. It could be the Canto Bight sail barge. I don't know. Who knows? It could be the Gungan submarine. I don't know. It could be anything. We just don't know. If the Cantina is the HasLab and they include the sisters, I'll never open them. No, you'll buy 2 is what you'll do, because that's what I'll do. Maybe even 3. Maybe even 3. They recently went to pay for Lego Dilophosaurus at Walmart. I asked a worker. They told me I had to purchase it online to get a discounted price, even though it was already in store. That's weird. That I've never heard. That doesn't make any sense. Jason, how is it going? How is it going, Jason? Good to see you. Jason from Texas, my home state. Cool. I think I caught up on comments. Are people still tuning in from Facebook? I don't know. It looks like a few might be. All right. What's our next topic? Since we're caught up. Ooh, I just saw a white flash on the screen. Well, that's our TVC talk for today. If you have any other comments, questions, drop them in there and I'll get to them later. Well, here's one. I'll address it really quickly. What would a Cantina cost? Surely not 500, maybe 350. Okay. You're asking a hypothetically here that I have no. If a Cantina HasLab were to come out, my guess would be 300. I think a Cantina, I'm thinking about the Jabba's Palace / Boba Fett's throne room. That was $229, and that came out last year. I think a Cantina would be closer to 300 is what I'm guessing. If it was the Cantina. If it was like the Death Star, depending on what route they went, it could be anywhere from 300 to 500. Because that's like the Cantina, I can reasonably assume, you know, you would get the bar and you would get like the main, like the alcoves and stuff like that. But with the Death Star, like I have no idea what they would possibly do. Like I talked about in that HasLab video a couple weeks ago. What would that even look, or was it last week? What would that even look like? Would it be a bunch of like hallways? Would it be like the conference room and the prison corridor and, Obi-Wan and the tractor beam? Or would it be like a round Death Star that you open up and it has scenes on the inside? Like, I have no idea. That's why the Death Star would be really hard to like guess a price for. But, Cantina, I can reasonably assume that, what you would get. And I would assume about 300. You're welcome. Thank you for watching. Are we still at the Sandcrawler? Oh, my bananas. Yes, you would buy 2. Yes. All right, we're going to switch gears. We are going to switch gears here. All right, so I'm looking over what I have left. We'll just touch on this shortly because you guys know I don't talk spoilers in the Bad Batch because I don't know everybody's watching it or hasn't seen it yet. But I'll just touch on it briefly. There's 2 more episodes, I think. I think this was episode 13 this week, and I think there's 14 and 15. So that'll be one of the things we can talk about on the May the 4th live stream. But yeah, so the Bad Batch, it's getting interesting. I can kind of see where things are going to be going now. What we don't know is who's going to survive, right? We don't know who's going to make it out alive of the Bad Batch. I don't think they're going to kill everybody off. I know people are saying, oh, everybody's going to die because they're not in the OT. Not necessarily. I think a lot of people will scrape through. But, I'm just guessing. I really don't know. But I like where it's going. And that's essentially all I have to say about the Bad Batch. What I will say, though, in case you missed it and you are here with us now, I mentioned at the top of the show that I would be bringing this back up. Is that on May the 4th, we will indeed be doing a May the 4th live stream. And it will be on Saturday, May the 4th at 2 p.m. Pacific time, 5 p.m. Eastern time. And we will have banthaskull.com, Chris from Bantha Skull. We'll have John from the SW, the Vintage Collection Facebook group. And we'll have Tim from Bosk's Bounty will be joining us for that special stream in which we will be talking about May the 4th and enjoying Star Wars Day, but mostly, more than anything else, reacting to the HasLab reveal. All right, so that is coming up, just in case you missed that at the top of the show. What else do I have here? Oh, thank you for reminding me, Peak Obi-Wan. Who's watching X-Men right now? I am 100% watching and behind X-Men 97. It is amazing. It is amazing. I did watch it as a kid back in the 90s, and I liked it quite a bit. I had a few of the Toy Biz figures. I had Wolverine and Cyclops and Sabretooth, and I still have them, or rather my parents have them at their house. They survived, and they have the boxes too. Isn't that wild? They still have the boxes. Yeah, it's so good. X-Men 97 is so good. If you're on the fence, if you're not watching it, watch it. Or maybe you might want to go back to the beginning, but that's a lot of catching up to do. I think if you have a general knowledge of X-Men, I think you can kind of just watch X-Men 97 without knowing the background. Of course, it's helpful. Or maybe if you stream a few key episodes of the old X-Men. But yeah, it's really good. I'm really digging X-Men 97. Really digging it. And I do have a lot of the Marvel Legends from previous years because I think they're, the figures are always great. All right, we're going to go into our last segment here. Our very last segment here because
we're not done yet.
We are not done. So I'm going to talk about a few things that I have recently added since we last went live to the collection. If you follow me on Instagram, then you no doubt saw that I ordered 9 more of these guys for my clone army. It's a nice figure. The helmet's a little oversized. I kind of wish it had a swappable helmet instead of a helmet. But it's pretty nice. It's better than the one that we had before. A lot of people call the Skinny Jeans Clone Trooper. So I ordered 9 more. So now I have 10 loose ones in total. So that was recent. I picked this up from eBay. This was from a few years back. This is from Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. They have these color changing droids. I think you put them in water. You put them in, yeah, warm or cold water, and it changes the colors. You see, they change colors, but they're pretty cool. I found a good deal on it. I got a good deal on it. Your army building, yeah. I mean, have you ever seen my clone box? Go check out the clone box on YouTube or on Instagram. You'll see how many clones I have. I have probably 100 clone troopers over the past 20 years. I have a Black Series item that came in. I did get these guys because they're the 501st, so I didn't want to miss out. So I got these guys from Target.com. And last but not least, I got a couple Mattel Jurassic toys. Like I said, I mostly stopped collecting these unless it's the JP93 or the Hammond collection, but I did pick these guys up. Because like I said, Mattel's kind of killing it with the mainline, in a way that they haven't in a very long time. This one right here is really nice. This Ecrixinatosaurus. Ecrixinatosaurus. Please don't meme that, me trying to pronounce that name. It's pretty nice. It's nice. I really like the sculpt on this one. I think it's fun. It looks very anatomically reasonable. Anatomically reasonable. I also got this one here. Griposuchus. It's like a it looks kind of like an alligator, like a saltwater crocodile. This one has a wheel. I like this action feature, like knobs, like a wheel. I like how it looks like a crocodile. Like, check this out, the way it bites. That goes sideways. That's pretty cool. I was really behind on Jurassic, and I'm not buying everything, but some, like I said, they're doing a good job in some respects. So, I wanted to go back and buy some of these. That's all I've added to my collections. What have you guys added to your collections? Let me know in the comments. We're going to do a last little run through. If you have any final questions you want to ask, any questions, comments, concerns, if you have any complaints, direct them to Wooher the bartender. And he will put them in the garbage disposal. Just kidding. Yeah, that's all I've added in my collection. That is it. That is all. Jason, I used to love toys that did that. Toss them in the freezer, then run some hot water and watch the magic happen. Yeah. Fun stuff. They don't do stuff like that often anymore. They really don't. Artillery Stormtroopers, my only new pickup. Cool. May the 4th is going to be so much fun. It is. I mean, this is going to be probably the best May the 4th in a long time, right? Because we have the Bad Batch ending, we have Tales of the Empire beginning, and we have the HasLab, and it's going to be, and we have the Phantom Menace coming back to theaters. This May the 4th is going to be lit, and it's on a Saturday. What more could you ask for, right? What more can you ask for? I am stoked. I cannot wait, and this live stream is going to be a blast talking about all of this stuff, you guys. It's going to be a blast. Normally, I'm not a fan of having non-species from the movies in Hammond collection, but a Sarcosuchus or Deinosuchus would be pretty dope. Yeah, that's true. Filling holes, episode 1, just random pops in other TVC world building. Very nice. Very nice. Very nice. That's all I've added in my collection. Thank you guys for sharing what you've added to yours. Really appreciate it. All right. Well, that being said, I think we are getting to a stopping point. I think we've answered all most of the questions. Really appreciate you guys. Seriously, Star Wars. Hello there.
Hello there.
And also, well, you've reached us at the end of our stream. So if you guys are tuning in or recently tuning in and you would like to see the stream, please definitely, once this publishes to YouTube, you can go back and rewatch it. If you want to torture yourself again, you can go back and rewatch the stream. Okay, just don't cross the stream because that's when you get into problems. But no, seriously, you guys, thank you very much. Thank you very much. We will be back next week with a new episode of Cantina Social Hour next Friday night. Same bat time, same bat channel. We'll be here. And we will have a guest. And after this, from next week all the way through like mid to late May, we have guests lined up. So, and I'm really excited about some of them in the coming weeks. We got some good guests coming. We got Dan Larson from Toy Galaxy or Secret Galaxy coming up. We've got Brett from banthaschool.com coming up. His first time on Social Hour. And we have the big one on May the 4th with Bantha Skull, Chris, John Miko, and Bosk's Bounty, Tim. And then we have other guests lined up. I got the whole schedule here on my phone, and it is looking really, 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 really good. Really, really, really good. Honestly, you guys, thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate you as always. This is only fun because you guys make it fun. Your questions, comments, and concerns, thank you. Thank you. Whether it's good, bad, all of it, we'll take it. We'll take it. We appreciate you very much. This is my favorite way to spend Friday night is here in the Cantina with fellow Cantinians, talking about Star Wars, talking about toys, talking about anything. We didn't talk about paranormal stuff, but if you go back, not the last stream, the one before, somebody commented, they said, "Earthquake, Victoria? This door was shaking. It was shaking." And you see me going back like this and like, I don't know who was shaking the door. That's true. I don't know who was shaking the door. It wasn't the only other person that could have been shaking the door was not home to shake the door. So I don't know what it was. So we'll leave it at that. If you guys want to go back and try and figure it out, feel free. But as you know, if you've tuned into Social Hour for any length of time, things happen here in the Cantina sometimes that are kind of weird. So yeah, maybe we should have a branch off channel, Paranormal Cantina. How about that? Or something like that. But yeah, honestly, you guys, oh, your dog was creeping by the door and I was getting some vibes. No, my dog was under the desk, just like she is right now, sleeping under the desk. She's actually snoring right now. I don't know if you guys can hear her. This is where during almost every stream, she's right here under the desk sleeping. Earlier today, she did walk over there. Yes, you may have seen her walk over there, but that night she was not. But yeah, happy Friday. You guys have a great weekend. Do what you love. Collect what you want. Be well. Be safe. No matter where you're tuning in from out in the galaxy. Thank you for watching Cantina Social Hour. I will see you next week. And I got some videos on the way. More videos because that's what we like to do is make videos. So, all right, you guys. Peace out. I will see you next week. Bye.
Yes, I bet you have.
Makanki.